Hi guys, so today I'm just working on the line art for my next piece. And I'm really excited about this one. It really just kind of came together and it just worked right from the beginning. And that's always exciting when it feels right and everything's just kind of coming and working and it turns into what I thought I wanted it to be. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And there was a couple different things that really drove this piece and made it happen. And it's kind of interesting when that does happen, when there's a very specific event that makes one of my illustrations happen, and then it's like, huh, if I hadn't done that one little thing, I wouldn't have this piece to show for it, or I wouldn't have gained that experience. And it's just kind of interesting seeing how something simple like that could change whether I've created something or not. I don't know, it's interesting to think about, but for this piece, there was two different things that really drove me to make it and inspired it all throughout it. And the first one was the fact that the museum in my town had a pirate exhibit, which I know that I had mentioned before, but it was really amazing. It was all this wreckage that they had found from this pirate ship that had sunk, and they had found it and then brought it all back up, and it was just really amazing to look at. And the lighting in the museum was all dark and moody, and it was just really inspiring, and it got me really excited about wanting to draw pirates and that kind of subject matter. And then the other thing that I did that really drove this piece, and finally was the thing that really made it happen, was that I ended up going to a lake for a day just to kind of swim and enjoy the outdoors. But this particular lake, it looks very much like the ocean. It has really green blue water, and the sand is this really light white color, and it's just really fine, and it was this beautiful lake, and I loved it. I love that lake, but it just had me thinking of oceans, and it brought me back to pirates and walking through that museum, and there's just so many things going through my head while I was there. So that really is what made this piece happen, and made all of these different elements that I had been thinking about come together. And it's just really fun when there's a piece that links exactly back to different things that I've done, things that I was really excited about. Like that, where I had this experience at the lake and I was able to go through this museum, and I love that when I look at a piece that has those kind of ties to my life and memories. I can really enjoy creating, or enjoy looking at it and remembering the creation process for that piece, and remembering what I was thinking as I was doing each brushstroke, because I kind of have this thought structure, I guess, on it already, where I'm thinking about those experiences and those past memories, and it just kind of, it all ties it together, and it makes it more memorable. So yeah, I love it when there are pieces that I have a more of an emotional bond to, and this is one of those. It's really fun, and it's something that I can look back on this piece and remember a couple of those things that I did this summer and what really made me happy and excited during this time in my life. So yeah, I love being able to express that into art and having this memory there. Anyways, so a little bit about the actual piece and my process is I definitely used a photo reference for this one. I ended up finding one of this woman at the end of the boat that kind of had the similar pose, and it was really interesting, and it got me kind of thinking of the story that I could put into my piece. So that's kind of where that came from, and it was really helpful to be able to see the actual pose and get that worked out, and be able to work from a photo reference that she was actually interacting with the objects that I was drawing. Where sometimes when I take photo reference, I don't always have the same kind of object to interact with, so sometimes I have to make a little bit more up in my head as far as the interaction between the object and the person. So that was really helpful to have something that was much more exactly what I needed, I guess. But yeah, while I was working on this, I was very careful of having the line width correct for this one. I don't usually, but I really want to get into more of, is having much more of these like grand spaces where there's just much more space in between the background and the character, and it's a lot farther away. So one of the ways that I made sure that that came across better was having the thick line art on her and the boat, and a much more delicate, finer, lightweight line art for the background. I've really found that this can make or break how convincing a background is, or a whole piece in general. I've just found that when objects are much closer, I have a lot thicker of a line art, and then as they recede back, the farther they get from the visual plane that you're looking at, the more thin and lightweight it gets. And that just looks way more convincing and interesting, and it looks a lot more real. And that's about it for this first half of this illustration. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can catch all my future art videos and the second half of this illustration. And until then, I will see you at my next video. Bye!